We do have some breaking news coming in here. Reports are emerging from multiple sources that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, has been killed in what appears to be a coordinated military operation. The White House has just released a statement. Let me read this to you. The president has confirmed that Khamenei, described as one of the most dangerous figures in modern history, is dead. This represents not only justice for the Iranian people, but for Americans and citizens from numerous countries worldwide who have suffered under Khamenei and his regime of terror. Our intelligence and advanced tracking systems, working in coordination with allied forces, successfully located the target. There was nothing he or the other leaders eliminated alongside him could do to escape. This represents the greatest opportunity for the Iranian people to reclaim their nation. We are receiving reports that many within the IRGC military and security apparatus no longer wish to continue fighting and are seeking immunity. As stated previously, immunity is available now. Later, there will be no mercy. It is hoped that the IRGC and security forces will peacefully integrate with Iranian patriots to restore the country to its rightful greatness. This process should commence soon, given that not only has Khamenei been eliminated, but significant infrastructure has been destroyed in just 24 hours. The precision strikes will continue without interruption throughout the coming days or for as long as necessary to secure peace across the Middle East and globally. Extraordinary developments here. Let me break down some key points. I'd love to hear your perspective on this. There are several angles to explore, but perhaps the most significant aspect is the confirmation that Iran's supreme leader has been killed. This is official confirmation from the United States government. What do you believe the reaction will be among ordinary Iranians? Every Iranian has dreamed of witnessing this day, seeing Khamenei's death. The greatest tragedy would have been if he had died naturally like Stalin or Mao, remaining in power until the end. We must understand this conflict goes beyond missiles and nuclear weapons. This is fundamentally a philosophical war between those who cherish life and those who glorify death, between those seeking peace and those perpetuating eternal conflict. The point raised about Iran and Israel is crucial. They are natural allies. They were during the Shah's era. Even Cyrus the Great, 2,500 years ago, freed the Jewish people to practice their religion. That's why Netanyahu has compared the current American leadership to Cyrus. This Islamic Republic is fundamentally unnatural to Iran's history. Unlike other Middle Eastern nations, Iran has historical periods of genuine greatness. High economic growth, women's rights before many Western nations, suddenly interrupted by this regime. There was a time when Iran was prosperous, successful, allied with the West. Nixon wrote in his memoirs about trusting the Shah as an advisor. Then suddenly this regime emerged, hostile to everyone. Is there wishful thinking in suggesting the IRGC wants to surrender? I don't believe so. They're approximately 250,000 strong, essentially Iran's primary military force. It may require more than promises of leniency to convince them to disarm. There's likely a significant battle ahead. The other bombshell element is the declaration that precision bombing will continue heavily throughout the week, uninterrupted, or as stated, as long as necessary to achieve objectives of peace throughout the Middle East and the world. We've heard confirmation this was a joint operation, and they've certainly targeted military installations, suspected missile sites, logistics hubs, facilities enabling the regime to launch attacks on neighboring countries. It's appropriate to acknowledge our armed forces, the personnel involved in today's operations. I'd like to bring in another expert perspective. One of history's most tyrannical dictators has been eliminated. This is a moment worth celebrating. Iranian citizens are in the streets celebrating their oppressor's death. Khamenei murdered hundreds of thousands of Iranian civilians throughout 3 decades of rule. His elimination is welcomed, but operations must absolutely continue against this terrorist regime. This regime is indistinguishable from ISIS. Look at today's actions. They targeted civilian infrastructure, densely populated areas in countries uninvolved in strikes against them. This regime massacred 40,000 unarmed civilians just weeks ago on Iranian streets. Tens of thousands remain imprisoned, charged under Islamic penal codes mandating not just execution, but torture, including rape. Horrific violence. This regime must be removed. Military operations should continue, providing space for Iranians to reclaim their country. He's also addressing the IRGC, security forces and police, stating they no longer want to fight and seek immunity. He repeats his earlier statement, immunity now, death later. Hopefully, they'll peacefully merge with Iranian patriots to restore national greatness. The IRGC is the world's most extremist, armed Islamist organization. Members are thoroughly radicalized. Half their training involves Islamist indoctrination. They don't view Iran as Iran, but as Islamic territory. The outside world is infidel territory. This organization resembles ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, which they created. IRGC members won't surrender easily.